These are the top 7 most critical components on your WordPress website for 2025. Hey, my name is Andy. I'm with Oscar Marketing, or Oscar Can Do It. If you like this type of content, be sure to give us a subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment if you have any questions or anything like that. But let's get into it. So some of these may be a little more basic or overlooked, but they are nonetheless critical to your WordPress website. So let's get into it. Number 1, responsive design. This is going to be one of those ones that is going to be, if you don't have a responsive design now in 2025, you need to fire your web developer, because most theme templates, every theme template that I know of, and every designer that I know of works with mobile. Like, your 60+% of the traffic coming to your website is going to be from a mobile device. There's a great way that you can go test it. There are some paid features. There's some, this, that, whatever. But one of the things that you can do is right here. I have our dummy template right here opened up. I can go right click on the site, and I can go to inspect. If you don't have this, you can go up into your browser options and do responsive design, or there are a bunch of different ways to do it, but we're going to go click inspect. Once we see this inspect show up down here at the bottom, you're going to be like, oh, Andy, it's code, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that. I'm allergic to it. It is what it is. But down here on the bottom left, you're going to see this little icon right here. So this will switch it over to a pretty standard mobile view. And you can see, oh, okay, so the header looks pretty good. If I click on the navigation, boom, it goes and changes up. So if I scroll down, if I click on this, give this a second to load. Probably need to add a little bit of spacing at the top, but the form essentially works. I can go click on that, and it goes and disappears. If I scroll down, this all looks good on mobile device. So let me go exit out of here. But one of the best things that you can do is actually go test it on your phone in general. So give it apples to apples, real world comparison to what somebody would actually see on a iPhone, Android, whatever you might have. But you're going to get a pretty good real world example for that. So next thing kind of goes along with responsive design and just the website in general. Number 2, user-friendly navigation. As you can see, this navigation is pretty basic, for lack of a better word, because we haven't added too much to it. It is our demo site. It's what we use for everything to show examples and stuff like that. But you can see in your navigation, you need to have, hey, we have a way of getting in contact with somebody. Boom, right there. If you have an email address you want people to get to, cool, put an email address. But your navigation needs to get people where you want them to go. And so we have a call to action up here in the top, schedule booking, and then we have our social media links up here. So if our navigation was bigger, we'd obviously have drop downs and stuff like that. But it's pretty easy for somebody to do what we want them to do. Hey, we want them to contact us. We have our phone number ready to go for somebody to call. Hey, go book an appointment. This probably can take us to a pop-up that actually can go book an appointment, whatever that is. But let's also go to the mobile side. So let's go back into inspect. So once this pops up, we're going to go back into the mobile side. We're going to go, okay, our navigation up here at the top. Okay, is this easy for somebody to be able to get into? Is this easy for somebody to be able to navigate around? Okay, so our our navigation menu, cool, it drops down. And so now we have our navigation menu that's easily clickable as to where we want to go. So this is going to take us to our contact us page. Cool. So it does the trick, and as we go from page to page, the navigation looks the same, but the call to action, like schedule an appointment, social media links right here, all these are readily available for somebody to come. So our navigation is user friendly and easy to get to. That's a really big thing, especially nowadays with all the technology, and you can make things really, really complicated, but we use the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. So our navigation is super simple. It's straight to the point. It is what it is. Number 3, high quality content. This is really, really big and really kind of controversial nowadays, because with the use of AI, and we go into it in a whole different video, this is going to go into a little bit more into other components that we're going to talk about later. But from a content generation standpoint, have high quality content. So whoever the audience is you're talking to, make sure that's the content that you have on your site. So your homepage talks about your, like a call to action above the fold. We have like our About Us little snippet right here. Obviously, this is lorem ipsum. But again, you want to have like clear, concise content that's high quality. So that way when Google looks at this, it's like, oh, they put some time and effort into this. Yeah. So if you're using AI, use it in a responsible way. Use it and also read what you're getting from there. So when you're, creating content, quality over quantity. But nowadays you can actually go and create a lot of quality content at scale. So yes, quality content, high quality content is going to be very beneficial for you in the long run, and we'll get to that in another one. Number 4, security measures. So I have a bunch of different things involved with this one. So this is going to be a couple different pieces to this one component. But this all goes back to the back end. One of the biggest things that people forget about, they don't worry about, one thing that we do with our hosting and stuff like that, we keep the back end updated. So you want to make sure that your WordPress website is up to date. And as you can see right here, we are already up to date. So if we want to, like, the latest version is right there, we are at the current version. So needless to say, but should you just automatically update your site? You can, but keeping it relatively up to date, or talking to somebody like us to be able to help you keep it up to date, that's really, really big, because there's always security updates. There's always new hacking things that come out. There's always new things that come out that could be a vulnerability. So we want to keep our website, our core theme right here, our core back end of WordPress up to date. We want to keep our themes up to date. So if we go into appearance and go to themes, you can see there's no yellow flag saying go update, because there's always going to be updates to the themes and stuff like that. And then lastly, we also want to go into plugins, and we want to keep these relatively up to date. Now, there's some discrepancy on whether you go automatically update and stuff like that. I go back and forth with a lot of this, because some of the more well-known plugins, like I have auto update, but if it's a plugin that is not reputable or anything like that, then a lot of times we manage that. But for the most part, if you are managing your site, and another thing to go along with that, don't add a million plugins onto the back end. Make sure they're reputable plugins. That goes into the security aspect. It goes into all the things. Next up, you want to have a strong password. So don't do it like ABC123. Make it cryptic. Make it effective. So if you go into the users and you go into reset your password, WordPress is going to give you about a 20-digit character, but like uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters. It's going to give you a big password like that. Go save that password and then go put it into your Google keychain on your computer, or get LastPass or one of the other password saving devices that are out there that connect into your browser. I like LastPass. It is what it is. But this can save you passwords. And do not label your main person as admin. That's the huge mistake. Do not do that. It is, it's 2025. So we need to make it a little more cryptic than, just that. Make sure you have a reputable security plugin. There are a bunch of them out there. Security has one. We actually have WordFence security in there. Also having a two-factor authentication. The paid version of WordFence actually allows you to have two-factor authentication. Basically meaning that you can send a text message out. You could have you could look up the code on your authentication app, stuff like that. So making sure you have a reputable, security plugin in there. There is a free version to WordFence, and you can have that, and it's great. And it blocks a lot of things, but having the paid version, if you start getting some more attention, start getting thousands in traffic and stuff like that, that'd be a good thing to upgrade to be able to keep your site protected and stuff like that. Next is having regular backups. That would be more on the server level. Having regular backups, most every server has about 2 weeks worth of backups. Now you can ask them to have more, but having those backups are crucial, because if something catastrophic were to happen, you're at the very least out a couple hours of data. That's manageable to back up. But at least, you're able to get that back and stuff like that. But if you ever have to use your backups, make sure you go change passwords. Make sure you go do the things to where, like, hey, if somebody hacked into your account, it is what it is. You're not letting them hack back in and kind of like repeat the process. Another thing is we need to limit logins. So what we do when we're adding this in, and so this is a brand new, I'm going to skip this. Let's go close out of this. So this right here is a free tool. You can actually go and set this up, and you can have it like limit the logins to 3 times. So if somebody is like a brute force attack, or if somebody like actively is trying to log into your site, you want to limit those logins and stuff like that. So there are ways of being able to stop somebody dead in their tracks, to where it's like, okay, I'm not getting anywhere. I've guessed so many passwords. I'm not coming any further. Next up is going to be changing your URL that you log into. So this is one of those ones. I don't have this activated, but you can do this plugin called WPS Hide Login. So if we were to activate this, this is going to take us into the settings area of our WordPress website, to where if we wanted to change the settings, it's going to take us into settings, and then it's going to be down here at the actually in the general, but it shows right here we can change up our login URL to anything we want to. The redirect URL right there. So now you can actually go and change that login to where now it's harder for people to be able to go in. So if you've changed your username away from admin to something more cryptic, change your password to be something more cryptic, 2-factor authentication, change the login, you're going doing some good things to be able to keep somebody from getting in here. Another one is adding an SSL certificate. So it's very, very, nowadays it's common, like you have to get that onto your server. So like anytime you have an e-commerce site, you got to have an SSL. Even if you don't have an e-commerce site, you got to have an SSL. It gives authority to Google. It shows that you are wanting to take care of your site. Google likes it, stuff like that. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then finally, monitoring activity. As an admin, I don't like giving admin access to just anybody. So we usually reserve admin access to us, because, and you can use this for yourself, admin access can add plugins. That adds vulnerability, because if you add a plugin that's shady or not well built or anything like that, that leaves vulnerabilities to where all this security stuff that we just did skirts the system, can get in there. It is what it is. I mean, is it hard to do? I'm not a hacker, so I don't know how hard it is, but somebody who wants to get into your site, if you have some of these plugins, that's why we limit our plugins. We limit the ability to add plugins. So you do you, boo. It is what it is. But you can add activity logs right here. So now if there ever is anything, you can go in here and see, oh, I have activity logs. There's a bunch of activity logs in here. We just happen to use this one, but it kind of shows you everything that's been done on your website lately. And so you can kind of see, oh, this user is doing this. The system did that. You can go see different things, and this keeps about 3 months worth of content. So if anything ever happens, you have a paper trail of being able to see, oh, who did this, who did that. So that is your security measures for a quick and dirty. Number 5, SEO optimization. This is going to be a staple with, staying up to date on being found online. With AI search, with AI becoming more prominent, creating content like what we talked about before, high quality content ties directly in with SEO. It doesn't matter that you're creating like AI generated content. It just means that it's high quality content. In search engine optimization, with the knowledge of AI, there are some no code options that are really, really great out there for WordPress that's going to help you be able to like move the needle on a lot of things and be able to tell you, kind of get you going in the right direction. Now, obviously, you might need some help from somebody like us or something like that, but it can, at the very least, you can get going in the right direction. So some of those plugins are all-in-one SEO, Yoast SEO, but we use Rank Math SEO. They all do very similar things. Some have other features, some don't. But if we go right over here to Rank Math, this is what we have available. So right here, you can turn on their content AI. That actually is a paid extra, but I don't really use it. You can connect advanced custom fields. You can have analytics, a whole bunch of different stuff. Schema, there's a whole bunch of list of things. But one of the main things you want to make sure you have is right here, sitemap, schema structured data, and some of this other stuff is already checked by default, so we're good to go. So over here on the left, we're not going to worry too much about content AI. Analytics, this can actually pull from your Google Search Console, Google Search Console, and your Google Analytics, so you can connect those here and kind of see your statistics in one place. General settings, this is going to be, you can edit your code, set up a couple different settings, and it is what it is. But then this one right here, this is going to be your schema markup. So this right here, you can go and set up a whole bunch of things. But posts right here, this is all your schema markup. So this is going to help Google know exactly what it is that you're writing and stuff like that. And again, it's one less thing that you have to worry about AI to write or code in or anything like that, and so on and so on. So with that said, how do you actually edit the SEO on your site? So we can go over here to pages, and again, this kind of comes into the you see the SEO details right here. This kind of goes into how easy it is to use. I'm not going to go in depth with it, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to be able to, like, no code, be able to get your SEO content in there with the use of AI and stuff like that. Just really quickly, I'm not going to be too far with it. So we're going to let this go. So now I'm editing in Elementor because we use this, and it's going to look very similar if you were on the back end editing and stuff like that, but we can go over here to SEO right here, and now you can actually go edit the snippet that Google sees and what it'll show in front of Google when you're doing a search. So you can change the title, change the permalink, change the description. You can go and give it a focus keyword, which is really crucial. It went away. So if you ever heard like OK keywords, nobody uses them anymore. Google doesn't even look at them anymore because people were keyword stuffing and stuff like that. But a couple years ago, yes, they were prominent. But if you don't see that in here, don't worry about it. It is what it is. So down here, you can see basic SEO. You can see focus keyword missing. All this stuff we haven't done to the site, so it's not in here. And if we go down here, you can see it gives you all the things that you need to do in here. And then right here, you can see there's links to, hey, positive or negative sentiment, power keywords, stuff like that. And then readability. This kind of goes into a lot of stuff. But you can actually go and see, okay, how much content is there? How many words should there be? So when you're prompting AI and stuff like that, but this is all no code. So you don't have to worry about coding it. The only thing you really need about coding in there are like some of the on-page things, like, adding a backlink or adding a, in alt text. So that, again, you can go find it on Google. We can help you out with that too. I have a couple of videos on SEO. But SEO optimization is going to be a big thing in 2025, and it's something that as a business owner, you could get started yourself today. It's not crazy hard. Number 6, contact forms and social media integration. So with this, you want to be able to have an easy way for somebody to be able to fill out a form. There are ways to do this directly on WordPress. We use Elementor's built-in forms. We also use Gravity Forms as a separate plugin. But if you already have a CRM, you probably already have the ability to create a form in that CRM. We use Go High Level. There is a link down below to be an affiliate of ours. But if you create a form there, you can create an embed code to where you can submit them on here. But regardless of that, having a form where somebody could easily come in and be able to fill out information and be able to submit their information to you, gotta have it. You got to be able to have a call to action for somebody to be able to do something, to get somebody's information, because that's really the currency, outside of like selling a product. You want to get somebody's information, so that they're legitimate information. So being able to have this online, on your website, prominent in a bunch of different places, is going to be a big thing. And then also having, there are ways of creating a gallery, like right here, for example. There's a couple different plugins that you can go. One of them is Balloon. It used to be called Balloon, but I think it's called Instagram now. Let's go find out. But we can go create a gallery page that literally is every time and again, I'm all about automating. So you can actually go and connect your Instagram to your website for your Instagram board, to your Instagram images to be your gallery. So if we go into here, I went into plugins, went into add new plugins. So let's type in Instagram. So it used to be Balloon plugins, but I think it's just, Smash Balloon plugins. So let's go look at more details. So this right here, you can do, you can add your images onto your page, as well as have a follow button for your account. So now you're integrating your social media into your website, and you can now get more followers on social media. But the best part is now you're automating those images. So now you're not having to take an image, go put it on social media. Take that same image, go log into your website, go put it onto your website. Now it's just automatically updating within the time frame that you do. So like 15 minutes, an hour, a day, whatever that might be. So automatically updates, and it goes automatically to your website. All right, number 7. This is probably the most important one. It goes along with everything else that we just talked about for crucial components, pretty much. So it is performance optimization. Performance optimization, what does that mean? It means your site speed. It means how quickly it loads, which is speed. But making sure everything is doing what it's supposed to do quickly. There are ways to test exactly like if there's issues and stuff like that. What you can do is copy your URL, and then I have already set up a side back here. There's a site called GT Metrics. I'm not sure if it will allow me to do this because they've now started charging for this. They're probably going to ask me for my name, and I think I already went over my quota for this, so they might be kind of finicky, but we'll let this one run. And then the next one is called Pingdom Tools. So it's tools.pingdom, pingdom.com, and we can go put our URL right in here, and we're going to start test. The last and not the one you should focus on the most is Google PageSpeed Insights. So this is pagespeed.web.dev. So this right here, we're going to paste this in, and we are going to analyze. And so we're going to let these run. So let's go back to here. Okay, so they're going to all give you a bunch of different criteria. So what all is factored into a lot of this stuff? It goes along with server stuff. It goes along with images and content that's on your site. If you directly upload a video, big no-no, you want to be able to have a YouTube video. So like if you see this blog post that we're going to put together for this video, I uploaded this video to YouTube, let YouTube handle the server size, and then we actually put it onto the blog post. But you got to think of it like for when somebody's looking at you online, people are goldfish. If you are not loading your website within 3 to 5 seconds, people are leaving. So it like right here, this shows within 1.2 seconds. So we're within that threshold. Our performance is at an 87. The structure is at a 78. We haven't done anything to this, but it's straight out of the theme. It is what it is. So a B, that's not bad. So we're not really losing people based off of performance, but we can also scroll down and you got to log in to be able to see all the extra stuff. So performance, all this other stuff. If you are fresh to GT Metrics, so if you go to gtmetrics.com, spelled exactly the same, you can actually go and get a couple free of these. That's why I use Pingdom. And so this used to be completely free all the time, but they changed it up. But these statistics aren't necessarily that bad. But let's go to PageSpeed Insights, see what it does. Okay, so this gave us a C. So this picked up a little bit more than GT Metrics. So let's go back here. So this took 6.88 seconds to go. So that's bad. So we need definitely to keep an eye on this. So right here, there are a bunch of different things. Some of this is server related. We're not going to get into here, but I'm just letting you know. These are things that are given to you that you can go take into Google, go take into your web developer or whatever that might be. And then PageSpeed Insights, let's see what this is. This actually goes and does a whole lot more. And I really like this one because it goes off of mobile and desktop. So we haven't done with SEO, so I'm not going to worry about that. But best practices, we're at a 96 straight out the gate, straight out the box from a theme template, which is common. Accessibility, 90%, cool. Performance, that sucks. So right here, the first printable is 10.1 seconds. That's awful. But if we scroll down, now we can see largest contentful paint element, all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. You can see all of this right here needs work. And you're probably asking, okay, Andy, how do we fix this? So there are a couple things that you can use. There are a bunch of different plugins. We happen to use WP Rocket. It is a great plugin to use. If you go under settings and we go to WP Rocket, we actually put this on every one of our websites. But if you go under here, there's a couple different things you can do. One is minifying the JavaScript and CSS. So it's all your cascading style, basically the styles of your website. You can go down here, File Optimization, minify. Let's minify all these, save changes. I'm gonna go back to PageSpeed. I want to see what the desktop did. Okay, so desktop is relatively good, but we definitely need to work on our mobile. So let's go over here. So we changed that. Media. Now we can go lazy load images, lazy load backgrounds and videos, and we're gonna. Okay, we can replace that real quick. Just maybe that's gonna help out. And then preload we can do. It walks you through every single thing, but some of the main points up here are minifying the CSS. We can go down here to this CDN. That's a content delivery network. So we like Bunny CDN. I know WP Rocket has a monthly one right here, but Bunny CDN we found is a really good one. But content delivery network, basically think of your website stored in a bunch of different places, and whoever's closest, that's where they're getting served up. So that way it is what it is. Image optimization. This is one of the big ones. And so with all the websites that we use Imagify. So we put this on, and basically this takes your images and puts it into a web quality format. So not like having your PNGs and your JPEGs. All of that's great, but this converts your images into, I like using WebP formats because that is crucial. And that's really some of the main stuff. You can obviously go more in depth with some of this stuff just by minifying this. Let me go and analyze this again just to see if we can get any difference in the minification. There may be caching and stuff like that, but when we go back into WP Rocket, we can see up here at the top, we can go clear all of our preloaded cache and stuff like that. So it makes it super easy to where if you're making edits on your website, you're not really seeing them on the live site. You can go do this on the website side of things and have it go try to push those edits back through and force your browser to update. So just in that little bit, we haven't optimized images. We haven't done anything. This went from a 40 to a 52. So it went up 12 points just by clicking those two buttons. We haven't done anything else. So again, these are the top 7 components that you need for your WordPress site in 2025. Again, my name is Andy with Oscar Marketing. If you like this type of content, again, like and subscribe down below. If you're a business owner and you need some help with some of this stuff, we do have free phone calls in our group, and we have constant group communication in our join.oscarcandoit group. We'd love for you to join. Thank you for sticking with me this far. Be on the lookout for other videos. And if you like this, go ahead and subscribe so you can get notified when there's more videos.